Hello, everyone. My name is Jeff Evers, and I'm excited to be able to take just a few minutes and provide for you some information I think you're going to really be excited about. Jim McBride, who's the president of our company, is going to take you through something we've been working on for years. We're excited about this, and I think you'll be excited about it too. And without any further ado, I want to introduce to you the president of our company, Jim McBride.
Thanks, Jeff. And we've got Andrew with us today, folks, and we want to thank you for taking a minute to go through this PowerPoint presentation with us in regards to the all-new Pulse for Life home unit. The units that we're going to introduce to you today have been 3 years in the makings. We're very excited to be able to bring this to you. And of course, one of the things that we want to do first is thank you very much for being part of our PEMF family. Some folks have had their machines for 6 months, some going back to 8-9 years. But whatever length of time, we want to thank you very much for having the confidence in us to be able to provide to you a technology that we think is dramatically changing people's lives. And of course, you've had the experience of working with it every day. But we want to take some time now to introduce to you the new home units that are presently available. That can be used at home or in the office. It doesn't matter. But we want to make sure that you understand how they work, what it's all about, and of course, what's in it for you. So you can see the first page. We want to take you to page number 2. This, of course, is the new solid-state digital units. You notice on the left, we have a little unit called the Mini Tote. We have a unit on the right, which is the desktop model. The desktop model weighs just under 5 pounds. The Mini Tote weighs just under 6 pounds. And the nice thing about both of these units is you only have one attachment end that plugs into them instead of the same old 2 attachments that you've been dealing with. You notice you also have 3 different settings. You have a high for 5 minutes, a high for 15 minutes, and a low for 30 minutes. So this is something very unique that we've done. No longer do you have to worry about controlling or adjusting the intensity. I want to give you a couple of examples of why we did this and how easy it is for this to work. As you know, you plug in your 1 lead attachment end into the machine, you turn the power on, and let's say for an example that you want to do a 5-minute session on a high setting. All you do is simply push the button for high. And that basically will emit about 1 pulse a second. So you will hear the click, 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 as you've been hearing and been accustomed to. But at the same time, in the background, is also running the low intensity. Now this is very unique. Nobody's done this and nobody's figured out how to do it, and we're excited about it because our engineer manufacturer have been able to really file for a patent on this. In the background, while either one of the 2 high intensities is running, there's a low intensity running. It's generating approximately 10 pulses a second. So while you hear the click, 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 you're also hearing in the background 10 pulses per second running on the low. Now, will you hear the low? Probably not. Will you feel it? Probably not, but it's running. And here's what's so cool about it. If you notice in the background, on the picture here, you can see like the EKG spike, where the EKG takes it to the top and then it comes back down. What's so unique about this is while that cell membrane is being subjected to the vibration of the pulse all the way up and all the way down, in the background is that low intensity running at the same time. You can see where that little arrow spike goes below what we call a flat line. Well, that is at a point where the cell is most relaxed. And it's at that point where the largest amount of electroproliferation is taking place, meaning the cells are being bombarded with good stuff in and bad stuff out. So we've got to take it to a peak point, but then we've got to bring it down to a relaxed state at the same time. And it's during that whole process that in the background, that low intensity is constantly running. So therefore, it allows the cells to get a double whammy of a higher intensity and the lower intensity. The higher intensity level is running at about 10,000 Gauss. And you can see that there in the description below it. The same thing holds true on the Mini Tote. They're both the same machine. They're just put in 2 different size cases. Both of the machines, though, come with a very nice portable travel case that goes with it. So let's go for just a second. Let's go to page 3 in our slides. Here's a picture again of the Mini Tote. There's a picture of the desktop model. And with each machine comes 2 loops. One loop is a single loop about the size of what you've been used to working with on your butterfly. It's about 8 inches. And the larger loop is about 12 inches, and that's what you've been accustomed to working with also on your current PMF machine. But you can notice that there are 2 therapy mats. One therapy mat is 12 by 24. The other therapy mat is 18 by 24. Andrew will come on in just a minute, and he's going to walk us through this thing called the Hummer and the Ringer and explain the difference to you. But I think one of the very neat things that Andrew references about the difference in the mats is that little mat that's 12 by 24 is really what he calls the zone mat. And I really like that because that allows you to focus any type of treatments directly on the head, the quad muscle, the hamstring, across the lungs, hanging it front to back over a shoulder. It gives you a lot of flexibility. Both of the mats do the same thing. They're both the same intensity. It's just one is smaller, gives you more zone effect for treatments if that's what you prefer to do. Let's go to the next page. Here's the pricing index that we have put together. Either one of these units retails for $74.95. You notice there that it shows an immediate $500 discount, so a sell price of $69.95. Now, the reason we did this is with all of our brochures that we will send to you for free, they are coded. They are assigned a code number. And what we suggest is you get a bunch of brochures, have them there in your office, in your clinic, or just use them to pass out to people that you feel need to have PMF therapy, especially for use at home when they're not coming into you for treatments. On that code and with that brochure allows those people to get that $500 discount because that code number is assigned to you. In other words, we want people to come back to the source where they got the information in order to get that $500 discount. If people go to our website and they request more information, or they go in and they place an order, the first thing it's going to ask them for is a code. And if they don't have a code, then we're going to follow up with them and find out where they got the literature and the information, because we want that to be credited back to the source when hence it came. So again, every brochure that we give you, that you pass out, anybody that's referred to us or anybody that purchases, as long as we've got your code number attached to it, they're going to get that immediate $500 discount, and you are going to get credit for that referral or for that sale. So it's very important that you have brochures that are coded to you. Let's go to the next slide. This is a sample, folks, a couple pictures here of my younger brother. My younger brother, 21 years ago, had a mass removed from his skull. And this past fall, he got word, because he was having massive headaches, that he had another mass was on a skull. And so what I did was I sent him the little blue machine, the desktop unit down in the corner. And I showed him how to use that to treat his head. Every time he got a headache, I recommended he use the single loop and set it for 5 minutes. The next time, use it for low intensity for 30 minutes and go back and forth from high to low. And so he did that for about 6 weeks. He had called me on December 17th, and he said, I really think that mass is getting smaller because my headaches aren't as intense. But he said, I really have no way to be able to show that, but I'm not having such strong headaches as I was having before. Well, lo and behold, on December 18th, the next day, he was scheduled to go in for brain surgery to get that mass removed. And so you can see in that first picture the scar with the stitches. What's amazing is on December 18th, that surgery was 8 hours. 4 days later, on Tuesday, they sent him home. That first picture you see there of his head is on Wednesday before Christmas. It'll be Wednesday, December 23rd. He started using the machine again on that Wednesday. Every couple hours, he's treating, working on the tissues, working on increasing the blood flow and the oxygen, working on and for and against the swelling and the inflammation. He was scheduled to go back on Tuesday after Christmas just for a checkup. They wanted him back on the Monday after New Year's to get the stitches removed. When he went in for his checkup on the Tuesday after Christmas, The doctors were absolutely amazed on how fast he was healing. They have never seen anything like it before, especially after an 8-hour surgery. And they told him at that point in time, if we don't take your stitches now and we wait till next week, like we had originally planned to do, that we may have to go back in and cut you back open to get them out. So they took the stitches out of his head on the Tuesday after Christmas. The picture that you see on the right is 3 weeks after the picture on the left, which is the one on the left is December 23rd. 3 weeks later, the picture on the right. So needless to say, my brother today is doing very well. He's healing with amazing results. Everybody is blown away how fast his healing is taking place. But thank God we were able to provide him with the technology that allows the body what it needs to repair and rebuild. If we could go to the next slide real quick. Here's a slide that it basically explains the difference between Hummer units and Ringer units. I'm going to bring Andrew aboard and have him explain to you the difference, because a lot of the low-end machines that are on the marketplace are what we call Hummer machines. Our machine, the PMF-100, the 120, our new home model, is a Ringer machine. And Andrew, if you could come aboard and share with everybody in your explanations the difference between the two, we'd appreciate that.
Sure, thanks, Jim. Yes, it's going to be very important that everybody understands the difference between a Hummer and a Ringer, because there's a lot of other devices out there that are really not in comparison to this unit. A Ringer device is what we've been selling for years. This big machine that was pulsing in doctors' offices is able to do something a little different at the cellular level. So I'm going to explain what ours is doing and what a Hummer device does. And when you understand this, it's going to make it a lot easier to explain it to your patients or clients, and basically help them understand why our machine is so much different and how the benefits can be much faster. So a Hummer device, we'll talk about those first. A Hummer device is basically a low-powered PEMF device that is generating a very small magnetic field, usually in a mat. And when you lie on a mat that is generating a magnetic field, you are able to get frequencies to get delivered to your body better. Basically, a frequency device that is sending frequencies into your body or into a room, they're going to be very erratic and bounce all over the room and off your skin and your bones and go all over the place. But if you lie on a magnetic field mat, those frequencies will follow the magnetic field and deliver into your body much better. Now, once they're in your body, they still have a destination, and their destination is the cell receptor. When a PMF or a magnetic field or a frequency hits a cell receptor, it can actually resonate it. And when it resonates, the cell thinks that something told it to do some work. So transduction occurs, and now you have a message to the nucleus to go to work: repair, replace, detox. So a Hummer device is usually using PEMF as a delivery system for frequencies, okay? I kind of compare that to basically getting a key and throwing it at a keyhole and trying to make it in the keyhole. It's going to eventually happen, but it's going to take a long time, okay? And a lot of keys. So our device is a little bit different as to what happens at that cellular level. When our blast of magnetic field comes into your body, it is a high intensity Gauss, 20 times stronger than the Earth's. And when that hits your body, it actually makes the entire cell membrane resonate, resonating all the receptors on the cell membrane. So now we have transduction occurring no matter what. So we're not throwing keys at a keyhole, we're just kicking the door open and saying, hey, nucleus, go to work. So we get much faster responses at the cellular level. The ringer devices are also, you can actually feel what's going on. It's actually firing some muscle and firing some nerve on the higher intensities. And the patient is able to actually feel it doing some work, which is going to make the patient use that device, because when you lie on something that you really can't feel, it's tough to commit to doing it. But when you actually feel into hitting an area of your body that is sore or tender, you're more likely to use that device. So knowing the difference between a Hummer and a ringer, it is going to be important to explain how our machine is different to people who are considering buying a PMF device. And until now, most people had to go into a clinic where we sold the machine to and buy sessions. And, we have had several people ask us, when are you going to come out with a home unit? And now you can actually use a ringer unit at your home, which is, so this is the very first machine that you're going to be able to do that. So I hope that helps explain it. And we hope to get some good tools out there to help you better explain it to your clients and guests. And with that, Jim, I'll take it back to you, okay?
Thanks, Andrew. Great job. So, as Andrew mentioned, this ringer device that we now are introducing for the home units, people have been asking for about 5 years. We've had a lot of our professionals, our practitioners, giving us feedback saying, hey, my patients really want a machine that they can use at home when they're not here at the office and coming in and seeing me. What do you have? Because a lot of people are not able to afford the price point that the professional models are at. And so we've been for years really pushing to try and get this thing done, and now it is available for home use. We do have professionals as well using it in their offices. And so in summary, basically the Hummer is a frequency type device, uses a magnetic field to push that electrical current somewhere specific to the body. The ringer is something that the body feels, and it resonates the entire cell membrane. The one thing that we do know, and that we've been sharing with you all for years, is when the body can feel the vibration of the pulse, you engage a neurological, a physiological, and a psychological response all at the same time. So when people can feel it, they know they're getting something. So thank you, Andrew. Great job. Okay, let's go to the next slide. This is what we call our compensation plan on what we're offering to everybody on the $69.95 sale price of the Pulse for Life home clinic unit. If you'll notice there in the top, it's called a coded sales program. Now for years, as we've been working with everybody on with referrals and helping us in sales of the larger PMT-100, 120 units, of course, we've been paying everybody a commission, but it could be along the way that some people got left out. So what we tried to do here is we tried to put together a program so that nobody is left behind. If you look to the far right where it says Zone 7, I want to pay just special attention to that zone for just a second, because here's something special that we are going to do for everybody. Every sale that we do every month from all over the world is going to go into into a bonus pool. That bonus pool consists of $150 from every sale. So every sale that we have, we're going to put $150 into this bonus pool. So as an example, at the end of the month, if we have $50,000 in that bonus pool and there's only 2 people there, then each person is going to get a check for $25,000. The next month, if we have $150,000 in that bonus pool and we have 5 people in there, then each person is going to get a check for $30,000. And we are going to do that every month of every sale we make for $150, every sale all over the world. Now, what's cool about that is you may be working with your patients and you really don't do anything with us in Japan or in Canada or in Puerto Rico or Australia and New Zealand, but you can be in Zone 7 and you can get the benefit through that bonus pool of all sales that are made by everybody within the entire company. And we're excited about that because now we've got a way for people to continue to get paid for a long period of time. What's neat about it is once somebody's in Zone 7 and they're participating in that bonus pool, they're there forever. Now, one of the things that I want to make sure that you understand, in just a second, I'm going to bring Jeff back aboard and have Jeff explain to you how this refer coded program is set up. But understand, folks, we are not a network marketing company. We are a direct sales company. And so through this process, there is nothing that anybody has to purchase to get involved to work with us. There is zero, nada, nothing that anybody has to spend on a monthly basis to work with us. All this is simply doing is providing a vehicle for people to be compensated and get credit for sales that are produced within the company. So Jeff, if you would come aboard a minute and walk everybody through this coded sales program and how it works, and then we'll come back on and we'll give different examples of how people can capitalize on it and use it to their benefit.
No, absolutely. Can you guys hear me okay, Jim?
You betcha.
Okay, well, real quick, guys, like Jim said, our number one goal is to create a compensation package that rewarded everybody who helps us to penetrate and dominate the marketplace. So our number one goal is to help every reseller get to Zone 7 because we want you to participate in that pool. And again, we really thoroughly do believe we can sell thousands and thousands of these units every week, and $150 off every sale goes in that pool. Now, everybody starts off in Zone 0, or they start off as a referrer. It doesn't cost anything to become a referrer with us. So if you find somebody who's interested, maybe making some extra income, helping us penetrate and dominate the marketplace of this high consumer demand item, and the more you find out about PMF and more you find out about the ringer device, you'll start to realize people need this product. So if you find people who are interested in making some extra income, you could set them up as a referrer, and they can go off and start talking to people. So everybody starts off in that Zone 0. They got to make one sale to activate their reseller position or activate their compensation position. So the first sale they make activates that position. And then as soon as they make that one sale, then we put them up into Zone 1. We give them a $500 raise. Now, every time they make a sale, every time they refer somebody who makes a purchase, they'll make $500. As soon as they make 2 sales in Zone 1, we code them up to Zone 2. Now they get another $250 raise. Now they make $750 off every sale they make. As soon as they've accumulated 5 sales in Zone 2, then we give them a $250 raise. We put them into Zone 3. Now they make $1,000. And as soon as they make 10 sales in Zone 3, we code them up to Zone 4 and 5 and 6 and so on. Well, if you total up all of those sales to get from Zone 0 to Zone 7, you're talking about over 108 sales. And to make 108 sales, very few people have the ability to do that. And so what we've done, we've added the ability that you can recruit other referrers and other resellers to help you meet your sales requirement for the zone position. So if you want to code up, and like in Zone 3, you need to make 10 sales in Zone 3 to get to Zone 4. Well, how do you make 10 sales? Well, if you want, yeah, you can go off and sell 10 units yourself. Or let's say you sell 1 unit, you make $1,000, but let's say you recruit 3 resellers. You go off and recruit 3 referrers, and they go off and they start talking to people, and they talk about the benefits of PMF. And again, the first sale they make activates their position. Well, now you think about this. So you got 3 people you recruited. They sold a unit. Well, those 3 sales help you meet your zone qualifications to rank up, but not in addition to that, you also get paid the override on the position. So for example, in Zone 0, they're not making any commission. They're making that sale to activate their position. So you're at $1,000 in Zone 3. You just made a $1,000 override on those 3 sales. So you just picked up $3,000 in profit. Well, now they're in Zone 1. They need to make 2 sales in Zone 1, so they code up to Zone 2. So there's 2 more sales that's made. So if you got 3 people, each sold 2, that's a total of 6 more sales. Add that to what they sold in Zone 0 and yours. You just now qualified to go to Zone 4. But even more important than the qualification now to go to Zone 4, you also, because you're at $1,000 override in Zone 3, and in Zone 1, they're at $500, you pick up a $500 override on each one of those sales. So as you go through the coded system and you find out how the zones are set up, you can recruit other referrers to help you meet your sales requirements to code up, but at the same time you get the overrides. And I think you'll find out as you're going up to zones, you'll start to realize, yeah, it's going to be cool when you get in Zone 7. It's going to be cool to participate in that pool, but you're also always going to be making money from the Zone 3 silo. You're always going to be making money from the Zone 4 silo. So the compensation package is put together to reward and award the people who help us penetrate and dominate the marketplace. And Jim's going to give you some ideas on how you as a practitioner can actually strategize on how to penetrate and dominate the marketplace with your present business model that you're working with, but realize we've got something for everybody. So I'm going to turn it back to you, Jim.
Okay, Jeff, thanks. I think one of the important things that everybody that's with us and reviewing this PowerPoint needs to understand is because you have made a purchase of the PMT-100 or the PMT-120 over the years, we are grandfathering you in at zone 3. So it's just like saying you just made 8 sales, you're in zone 3. So as an example, if I'm a patient of yours and I purchase a machine for $69.95 to get the discount from you, you immediately are going to get paid $1,000. Now, we've had a lot of practitioners that have ordered their own machine for $69.95. Well, because they are grandfathered in zone 3, then we turn around and send them back a check for $1,000. They immediately get $1,000 commission on their unit. So one of the things that we want you to understand is, even though it says 10 sales in zone 3, that's an accumulation of sales. That's not just your sales. As Jeff mentioned, that's other people that can work with you that can help you accumulate 10 sales. Now, let me give you an example. We had a doctor the other day that every person that comes into his clinic gets treated on the PMF machine. He has 5 people that have worked with him for 10 years or longer. And he said to me, he said, Jim, he said, we want 250 of these brochures. And he said, so if every brochure has my code number on it, what I'm going to do is I'm going to tell the gals that I want them passing a brochure to every patient to get a home unit. But I'm going to have them put their initial or their first name up by my code. Now, when I get paid that $1,000, is it okay if I give them $200 for the sale? We said, well, absolutely you can. I said, or you could put them into this plan and they could get compensated through the plan. And he said, no, I prefer just to pay them myself, knowing that I get $1,000. And even though they're passing out brochures, I'll give them $200 for every one they sell. Well, for every one that the gals in the office refer who purchase a machine, the doc gets an accumulation credit for all those sales. So if he needs 10 to go to zone 4, then, and he's got 12 that have been referred from his gals who order, that automatically qualifies the doctor to move to zone 4. And the same thing to zone 5. Now, the doc says, well, what if I've got one person who says, well, you know, I could help you spread the word on these things. Give me a couple dozen brochures and I'll pass them out for you. Okay. Well, then I said to the doc, I said, well, if you've got somebody that's going to do that, then they basically have become a referrer. I said, if it was me, doc, what I would do, knowing that I'm getting paid $1,000, is I would say, well, you know what, for the first one you do that you refer to me, I'll give you $500. In essence, what I'm doing is I'm splitting my $1,000 commission with that person. But that after that, I'm saying, look, why don't I just set you up as a reseller and the company will pay you? Well, so now that person's got their own code number. They're out passing out their own brochures. It didn't cost them a darn thing if they didn't want to spend any money to get them. And going back to what Jeff said, if you know somebody who's hurting, somebody that's unemployed, somebody that's elderly that needs help, or people that on a fixed income, they need to make some extra dollars, then let's set them up as a referrer. It doesn't cost them a darn thing. They don't have to purchase anything. We just need to know that they will work with us in good faith not to make medical claims to cure people. And in essence, we would set them up as a referrer. And the minute that they start referring people, their brochures will have their own code number on it. So there's lots of ways to do it. I have a couple neighbors that surround me, that businessman, 64 years old, very sharp gentleman, and he just lost his job about 2 months ago. Nobody wants to hire him because of his age. And yet him and his wife are both active in the Square Dancing Association. And they said, gosh, everybody we dance with is old and stiff and sore, and they got health problems like crazy, knees and backs. And he said, everybody in our program could use one of these. He said, could I pass out brochures? I said, absolutely. And I said, on the first one you refer, I said, I'll give you $500. And everyone thereafter, I said, for the next 2, we'll give you $500. And if you got more than 3, we'll start giving you pay raises. He goes, you're kidding me. So then he got curious as to how the program works and asked me, well, explain to me how your program is set up. He's already brought aboard 5 other people who want to be referrers as well. One guy sells advertising in 4 states, and he says, I want brochures to give to all my advertisers, my restaurants, my chiropractors, my veterinarians, my massage people, my acupuncturists, my car dealers. They all need to have these brochures sitting on their counter. So I've had people coming in for the past 2 weeks now saying, how can I be a referrer in this program? How can I make money? So we continue to have orders coming in on a daily basis. We wanted to start slow with this, but slow sometimes means fast, so we had to hurry up and get fast. I know, Jeff, the other day, you and Chris were on the phone with a couple doctors, and what they're going to do, matter of fact, they've already ordered a couple. They're going to put them in their practice as rental units. So you want to take a minute and just explain to everybody how those doctors are going to use them as rental units in their practice?
Oh, yeah, absolutely, Jim. First of all, they got a PMT-120, so when patients come into the clinic with some acute problems, they do the consultation, they prescribe the care, so they sell a 10-pack. And after they get done with that 10-pack session, then when they do their follow-up consultation, do the report of findings, at that point in time, the patient 100% realizes the need for PMF in their body. So they're going to lease them the $7,000 unit for 2 weeks for $250. And so that way the patient can take it home, use it as often as they want, and after 2 weeks to come back in for another report of findings, another consultation. At that point in time, they're going to give the patient the option. They can just go ahead and renew the 2-week rental for $250, or heck, they could probably own it, for $500 a month, they could own it in a year. And so their attitude and their belief is that they'll sell half of the patients that have the rental. They feel confident they can sell half of them the actual unit themselves. So again, they got the PMT-120 on the front side. After the 10-session pack is done, they bring them in for consultation. Then they send a home unit for 2 weeks, and then after that, then their goal is to go off and sell them the home unit. So it's a pretty good strategy, and they're looking to actually do all 108 sales with their present patient base to get to zone 7 with just that strategy, and I really believe they could do it. I'm going to turn it back to you, Jim.
Thanks, Jeff. There's so darn many ways that we can help people. We can touch people's lives. There's so many folks out here that are unemployed. There's so many people that are elderly that are unemployed. They need to somehow subsidize an income. They need help. They have issues that they're dealing with, whether it's pain, stiffness, arthritis, fibromyalgia, depression, neuropathy, whatever it may be. You're dealing with these folks on a daily basis, and we know that we've got a technology that can definitely help people and change their lives. This now becomes something that they can use at home. Because of that, this program, it may work for you, and it may not, and that's okay. But you need to know that it's available. You need to know that we do have a home unit available that can do a tremendous amount of great things for not only for you, but to help your patients as well, your family members, and anybody else out there. I know a lot of military people, military veterans, the Wounded Warriors is a huge program. There's a lot of gentlemen that can't work because of disabilities, and nobody will hire them. They've got other issues and other problems they're dealing with. You know what? I got to tell you, if there was any way to help some person get to work, male or female, that nobody will do, we have a flyer available. If people are sitting at home and they want to work with you and they want to become a reseller, and it costs them nothing, we will give them an email flyer that they can email out to people, friends, family, anybody that they know. We are going to start a program here very shortly where we're going to be introducing this worldwide via radio, media, Twitter, Facebook, YouTube. We have a lot of things that we're getting ready to go do to let the world know that this PMF unit now is available for home use. So we want you to know that it's available not only for you, but it's also available for your patients, your friends, and your family. So what we suggest is get back to the person who referred you to this presentation to get your questions answered. You can call us at the office. Our number is there, 605-217-3377. Email is info@pemf.us. The new Pulse for Life home clinic now is available. If you have any questions on how we can implement this into your practice, let us know. Again, remember, if you've purchased the PMT-100 or the 120, you are grandfathered in at Zone 3. So you do not start from zero. So With that, we want to thank you very much for taking time to listen to what we've got for you. If you have any questions, please give us a call, drop us an email. God bless you. Keep up the good work. Have a great day.